Let's bring in Jason Chaffetz. He's a Fox News contributor, former GOP congressman, knows a lot of these people personally. He's former chairman of the Oversight Committee and author of the upcoming book, Power Grab, the liberal scheme to undermine Trump, the GOP, and our democracy. I watched you last night, Chairman, and one thing they said, Jason, that really stuck out with you is that they were all putting down Obamacare as it falls short. That's what Republicans were trying to say when it passed in 2008. It falls short, and now they're ripping it to shreds.
Yeah, we're living under the Affordable Care Act, and they're all admitting that there's nothing affordable about it. The Democrats, they put this bill with no Republican input before the American people, and now they're all saying it's a disaster. Yeah. And they're right. And the Republicans are right back then.
That's going to come up tonight, I believe, because Bernie Sanders obviously was responsible for that. Who were the winners last night and the losers? I mean, Joe Biden, not Bernie Sanders. Who were the winners and losers?
Yeah. I actually thought Representative Delaney took the fight and made the argument, made very cogent arguments, along with the two governors, saying the radical socialist agenda moving forward with the leaders within the Democratic Party, this is problematic. And I think that will resonate with a lot of more moderate Democrats. I don't see anybody out there that comes close to beating Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is stronger politically than he's ever been. As far as losers, Robert Francis O'Rourke and Senator Klobuchar are nowhere. The sooner they throw in the towel, the more they're going to be able to salvage their names, because they just do nothing. Yeah. I don't know why they are there.
Speaking of nowhere, last week on all the channels, it was all about Robert Mueller. As the Democrats were saying, look, we're going to have this guy come out and he's going to spill the beans about what happened. That did not happen. I don't remember hearing much about Mueller last night. Do you?
I didn't hear anything about Mueller, nothing about impeachment. It shows the total disconnect with where Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and Nancy Pelosi are. The American people aren't ready for this impeachment. They give lip service to it, but when you sit there for the, 12 hours of that debate last night and it doesn't even come up, it's not going anywhere. And they didn't mention Joe Biden. I don't think they actually think in their own minds that Joe Biden is going to be the nominee, or they're just kind of kissing up to him and trying to play nice to be his number two. I don't know. But those two topics didn't come up in that debate. It was amazing to me.
Yeah, it's also true because the moderators didn't bring up impeachment. They did bring up what a racist the president is, and they all jumped on that, and white supremacists. But I'd be surprised if they brought up impeachment, how many people would have pushed back on it. I probably don't think anyone would have, because they'd be too afraid. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders was the center of attention. He made himself that way. He was also talking about some of the ridiculousness when it came to immigration, decriminalize the border, as well as health care, single payer. Let's listen.
Senator Sanders, you want to provide undocumented immigrants free health care and free college. Why won't this drive even more people to come to the U.S. illegally?
This will have a strong border protections. But the main point I want to make is that what Trump is doing through his racism and his xenophobia is demonizing a group of people. And as president, I will end that demonization. If a mother and a child walk thousands of miles on a dangerous path, in my view, they are not criminals. So what we will do the first week we are in the White House is bring the entire hemisphere together to talk about how we rebuild Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador so people do not have to flee their own countries.
Yeah, that's right. Let's pour money into those countries instead of our country. That'll be exciting, won't it?
Yeah, it's all our fault, the United States. It's all America's fault that this is happening. They offer no solutions. They don't put any bills forward. At least Bernie Sanders calls it the way he is. He says he's a democratic socialist. And nobody ever points this out, Brian, but he's not even a registered Democrat.
I know.
And he's one of the leaders within the Democratic Party.
But he said border security. There is no border security. They don't even vote for border security. How is he going to secure the border without financing a wall or any type of barrier?
Yeah, exactly. And these are the same people that made the argument for a long time that there was no crisis at the border. They were totally in denial. They argued against what the president wanted to do. But there, again, when you sit back and you look at it, I don't see any American clamoring for more government, more Washington, D.C., more Washington, D.C. control. That's why I think Donald Trump is in the driver's seat. They didn't lay a glove on the president. And I think he is on the path to being FedExed in as the next president. Another 4 years.
Yeah.
That comment really stuck out to me because it made me realize there's so much division in the Democratic Party, and many of those candidates last night were trying to be center because Joe Biden's doing so well. And when he said, if you go so radical, John Hickenlooper said, if you go so radical, then that's going to FedEx this election straight to Donald Trump.
And he was referring to the new Green Deal, which is comical.
Jason, thank you very much for joining us live today.
Thanks, Jason.